Hello, my name is Elsa and welcome to another booktube video. Today I am going to talk about the books that I'm currently reading. I am one of those people who is always reading multiple books at once. I have actually cut down a lot on it recently though. So today I have 5 books to talk to you about. When I say these books are books I'm currently reading, these are books that I am actively reading a few pages of every week or so. There are a few books scattered around on my to-be-read shelves behind me that I've actually started and read a chapter or so of, or got partway through and then put down for a little while, and for the purpose of this video I'm leaving those out. So the first book to talk to you about is King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. I'm actually very nearly finished this. As you can see, I've not got much there left to go. So this will probably be in my September reading wrap-up in a couple of weeks' time. This is the second book in his, I don't know what it's called actually, his Thorns series. The first one is Prince of Thorns, this is King of Thorns, and the third in the trilogy is Emperor of Thorns. And this follows a young man called Jorg who has had a rather traumatic start in his young life when his mother and brother are assassinated. The trilogy is kind of the story of what he does from there. Falls in with a band of mercenaries in the first one, fights way across the kingdom. In this book he is defending the little kingdom that he managed to capture at the end of book 1. And it's told across 2 timelines. First of all, picking up more or less where the first book finished, and secondly 4 years after that, where he is currently defending the kingdom. I found the start a bit hard to get into, I think because it had been a while since I read the first one, and also because it's quite a grim book in a way. This whole series is pretty grim, but I then got sucked into it, and I've been reading that on my commute each day and during my lunch breaks, and I've been really enjoying it. The next book to talk about is one of the ones that I'm reading for my non-fiction challenge. I'm trying to read 6 non-fiction books this year, and this one is called Ghost Empire by Richard Fidler. This is about Constantinople in its early years. The author, Richard Fidler, was really interested in the city and always has been, and at some point when his son is, I think, about 14, the two of them took a trip there from their home in Australia. So the book is the history of the city interspersed with the author and his son looking at a wall or a monument of some kind, and the son essentially saying, "What is this here for, Dad?" And Dad is going, "Well, son," explanation. I actually really like it as a way to frame the history. It breaks it up into more manageable pieces. If you don't know, I studied ancient history at university. That was focused mainly on ancient Greece and ancient Rome and a little bit of the ancient Near East. So I didn't actually look at Constantinople very much. I kind of focused on earlier times than that with my personal choices of which bits to look at. So some of the Roman history that brushed up against it is bits that I'm familiar with, but I'm finding it really interesting to look at things that happened after that, and also further to the east where the city is. So I'm really enjoying this. It is quite heavy going. I've only got about that far into it so far, so I'm going to have to try and get back into reading a few more pages of this a day, I think, and see how I get on with that, because it is quite a big book. The next book to talk to you about is an ebook, and that is When Diplomat Rishi. I started reading this back in August. It's on my phone, so I tend to only dip into it when I need something lighter when I'm out and about to read, or if I'm out and about without a book and have some reading time. I'm sure you'll have heard of this before, but this is about a girl called Dimple who has just finished high school and wants to go off to university and learn to code, but her parents really want to arrange marriage for her. She is interested in going to I think it's a month-long kind of summer course thing, and weirdly her parents agreed to send her and to pay for it, and it's a coding course. When she gets there, she quickly discovers that actually her parents have sent her because a boy that they want to set her up with called Rishi is going to be there. I'm really enjoying the book. It's a lot of fun, and so far Dimple and Rishi are getting to know each other and actually becoming friends. And also at the same time, Dimple is trying to deal with some mean rich kids who are there. So it's quite interesting. I'm enjoying it as a lighter change from things, and also to read a bit more about that kind of culture where arranged marriage is still very much a thing, because it's something that I really don't know much about at all. The next book that I'm going to talk to you about is Retribution Falls by Chris Whitting. I actually bought this a long time ago, like years ago. I started reading it, and for whatever reason it wasn't fitting with my mood at the time, so I put it back onto the bookshelf and it has sat there for a very long time. I picked it up again just a few weeks ago, and I've been reading it before bed, just a chapter or so, because they're quite short chapters. It's nice to have that slow down moment before I go to sleep. This is a book that's kind of a steampunk sort of setting. There are airships, and it focuses on a particular crew and captain of one of these ships who, fairly early on in the book, is set up for a pretty horrible crime. And at the point I'm at now, about yay far in, so not even halfway, and I've been reading this for a few weeks now, going slowly. That's not because it's bad, it's just because I'm only reading it at night, really. Anyway, the point I'm at, they're starting to uncover the depths of the crime that they've been set up for, and how things really aren't looking good for them, and also starting to try and do something about it and figure out why they were set up for it. So it's a really enjoyable book, and I'm looking forward to reading more of it. The final book that I'm going to mention today that I've just started is The Bastard Legion by Gavin Smith. This comes out on the 5th of October in the UK, and so I'm reading it to post a review on the publication day. This is a sci-fi novel, as you can guess from the cover. It's about a girl or a young woman rather, who has taken control of a prison ship. The prisoners have like bombs as collars to control them. This woman is making the former prisoners into soldiers who work for her. I've not got very far into it at all, but I'm really liking the voice of it so far. The main character is a bit sarcastic, a bit she's a very relaxed young lady, very cheerful. I'm really interested to see where the story goes with this one. So those are the books that I am currently reading at the moment. What have you been reading recently? I would love to hear from you in the comments. And I will be back soon with a monthly wrap-up and a monthly book haul, and maybe some other things. Bye!